DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Right now I want to start a series, these videos right here, where I want to address something for a lot of players coming out of college, or you've been out of college, or you might not even went to college, but you want to play professional basketball. You want to go overseas, you want to get on a pro team somewhere in the world and, earn some money from playing the sport of basketball. I mean, it's the greatest thing you could do if you're a basketball player. You're doing something that you enjoy doing, something that you would do even if you weren't making money for it. And you're able to travel the world, have people know your name, compete on the court in basketball, which is what you've been doing. You get to see the world, make money, and possibly make a living off this. And a lot of players are really confused as to how to get started with their career, where to go, who to talk to, what to do, etc., etc. So, being that I have a lot of experience, especially I came from a Division III college. For those of you who don't know, I went to Penn State Altoona, graduated in 2004, and I've been to a lot of camps. I've been to probably about 10 or so camps over the last 8 years. So I know what it's like going to these exposure camps. I think that's probably the best way to get seen. Like, if you don't have a lot of film or extensive amount of film, or you came from a small school anyway, which your film won't be worth as much as with a guy that went to a D1 school or something like that. An exposure camp is the best way to get seen. You get to network with other people that are there, whether it be a coach of a team general manager, an agent, other players that might have some information that can help you, or whatever it is. So I want to start this series, a series of videos here where I basically want to put out the things that you should look for when you go into an exposure camp, because as compared to 2004 when I went to my first camp, is the number of camps out there has increased exponentially. There's so many of them, and so many of them are bullshit, or they putting out a lot of stuff that's really going to scam you. You're going to end up spending a lot of money, from the entry fees to your travel costs to things, whatever money you got to spend while you're there on food, things like that, and you end up not getting what you paid for, which is an opportunity to be seen by people who can help change your future. So I'm making this series to try to guide some of you players out there who might not have an idea, or any players out there who are looking at camps, or you might have been to some camps, not gotten what you wanted to get out of it, and you're looking for some kind of resource where you can say, okay, what am I looking for at this camp? What is it supposed to be like? Is this how it's supposed to be? Is this what camps are like? Is this the best? Is it the worst? So hopefully some of this information that I put out can help some of you out there. And if any of y'all out there got any information that you think other people could use, it could be shared, you can go ahead and leave it in the comments. You can just contact me. You can hit me on Twitter at DreAllDay. You hit my Facebook fan page. You can email me, Dre@DreAllDay.com. So the first point that I want to make in this series, this is part one of the series, is that when you go to a professional basketball exposure camp, there's only three things you could be looking for to get. Number one is to leave that camp, signed contract in hand. You signed to go play for a professional team in XYZ location. Is done. Like, you signed a contract, you shook hands, you know you're going to play for that team on whatever date. So now you just go home to get ready and pack, or whenever it is you got to go. That's the number one thing you could come away with from a camp. The number two thing you could come away with from going to a professional exposure camp or a combine or showcase, they are the same thing. Number two thing you can come away with is making contact with somebody that can get you closer to number one, which is signing a deal. Those people can be an agent, it could be a manager, it could be another player, it could be a coach of a team, somebody that you network with, make contact with, that you're going to follow up and communicate with after the fact, after you met them, after y'all are all gone. Somebody that you can network and communicate with that can help you get closer to reaching goal number one. That's the second thing you can get out of a camp. And number three thing you can get out of a camp is proof that you were there and that you did something that you can play, which basically sums up to video. Any camp that you go to now should have video. We're going to get to that later. So it's either number one, you walk away with a signed deal. Number two, you walk away having made some contacts that can help you in your career to get you closer to signing the deal. Or number three, you walk away with like a scouting report, an official scouting report, or a video of your performance at that camp, so you can show people, hey, look what I did at this exposure camp with all these other professional players and prospective professional players, aspiring professional players, and look how I performed. This shows that I can play. You got to walk away with one of those three things. In any camp you go to, if you don't walk away with one of those three things, you basically wasted your money. And it happens to people. It's happened to me before. It's going to happen to some of you. It might have already happened to some of you already. But now that we laid it out clearly, you know exactly what you should be looking for if you're going to attend a professional camp. These are the things you need to be walking away with. It was a move used mostly by Chris Paul, where you put a spin on the ball in one hand. So you see I go behind the back, little jump stop as I put the ball around my back, and then I go.